Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard and welcome to, let's say, the first season of sawing here at the new property. So far, I have used the saw 3 times and I haven't cut anything from my own pile at all. So today we're going to start getting into the pile, seeing what I've been collecting for the last few months and sawing a little bit. But let's head over to the pile and take a quick look and see what I got. So here's my sprawling log pile. This first little section here is some silver maple for workbench kits, and this is sort of some junk. But I got some smaller kind of chunks here. It's nice, smaller but larger chunk of elm. This monstrosity of a silver maple log, which will be some more workbench kits. I got this big old crotch silver maple and this really long silver maple as well. But today we're going to be probably sawing some of the stuff over here. I got a couple of pieces of crotch, which I think will be a fun way to kind of kick things off here. So I have these 2 pieces of crotch here. This bottom one here we'll cut as well. So we're going to cut this bottom one and this top one. This is a piece of white oak. I got this from my buddy Brent. It's a little bit weird because there's not a whole lot of like bottom section to the crotch, so it's going to be like a pair of shorts or something like that. And then we have this piece of cherry here. This is a chunk of the largest cherry tree from Iowa, which I picked up with my buddy Josh a few months ago. So this is part of this log back here. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. But this crotch was coming off of one of these 2 stems. I don't remember which of them, but I think it was this one. It was right here. So we're going to see some of that cherry for the first time today as well. This guy will be coming up in the future. I'm looking forward to getting this thing cut. But today, some quick fun, I think. So I'm going to go grab the telehandler. We're going to pick these crotches out of here and bring them over to the saw and get them all set up and ready to go. Ah! All right, so we got the logs up here on the saw. Let's take a quick little walk around here and see kind of what we're dealing with here. So this is a lot bigger on the saw than it looked when it was out in the field. Down here, we're over 4 feet wide. What are we at here? Like just close to 4 feet. And these are both about 4 feet long. So this is going to produce some kind of odd, kind of square shaped slabs, which would be kind of odd and interesting. Now this piece of white oak, as I was mentioning earlier, you can see there's not a whole lot of crotch area. This is not that long, but we have the limbs sticking out here, so this should make some kind of oddly shaped piece of wood. One thing to note about this log is if we walk around to the back side of it, we do have some iron staining right in here, so there is probably some embedded metals somewhere either in this section of the tree or it could have been higher up in the tree in this log that was up here. Now, I don't see any iron staining here, so I'm assuming that the piece of iron or steel or whatever is embedded somewhere in this section. So we'll probably end up finding that as we get into the log. This one is also about 4 feet long. We're spanning on 2 of the bunks, so that's 4 feet long, and it's about the same width kind of as we splay out here, maybe a little bit wider, but nothing too crazy. Otherwise, we're gonna probably just see some crotch figure and not a whole lot of other things. I don't see anything else that's super noticeable or notable at this point with these logs. So I'm going to come in here with the saw and start skimming off the top. I think it will establish a flat surface. We'll take them off the saw, flip them over, and then we can get to just sawing all the way down to the bed. So now we're a little further in. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. This is a fun shape. Set this aside, and then we'll take a look at the actual slabs underneath. Got some leaves in there. So not a whole lot going on in here other than, it's some pretty nice looking cherry. I think this is going to get way more dramatic as we get further in. There's a little bit of figure starting to show up here, which you'd expect because we're just getting into the crotch section. The other one I think is a little more interesting for this cut. So over here we have, this is like, I think it's an old limb or something that was maybe coming up this way or something, I don't know, but it's got a fun little staining situation over here. But more interestingly is we found our embedded steel already. We got 2 nails here, and we probably had maybe 2 pieces here at one point or something, but went right through them, no problem. So that's a good preview of what we're going to be kind of dealing with here. I think now we'll just go ahead and fully slice these things up, and we'll take a look as we get to the end. So definitely hit something on that last cut. I think something in here. I definitely felt something happen. And we were missing a few of the teeth on this carbide blade. So let's see what the heck we cut through. I hope it's something big. That's a lot of staining. Something that you can see where the cut changed. Oh, I got a few nails. Actually, not as big as I thought it was going to be. I must have just hit them just well enough. Oh, I probably had, looks like it tore part of the nail out and exited with the cut. That's probably what ended up happening. Yeah. That's still cutting is fine. It's a little, you know, got a little bent tooth. Nothing crazy. Well, I was hoping that'd be something like huge. Apparently not. All right, well, let's just cut again, I guess. So based on the kind of weird shape of these, I think the best way to stack these is going to be how they're laying right now. So we need the bottom slab first to look at and put on the stack. So I think we're going to take these things back on the field and flip them over again and then start taking them apart. Okay. It's like a big pair of pants. We're starting to get into a little bit of crotch figuring here. So this is a little dash of figure. This is a good sign. It's going to be some good stuff in the next ones. You know, we got some pretty basic white oak. We're starting to get a little bit of the undulating in the grain down here from the crotch, which would have been, you know, all of this. Goodbye, sticker. Wow. That is incredible. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a good one. Splish splash, baby. I'm back. This cherry crotch has got some pretty ridiculous and incredible stuff going on. We are getting some bark inclusion now, which I think makes things a little more exciting. But it's really nice. Great figure and great color. This one we're starting to get a little quarter sawn, rayfuck kind of going on here. And we got little hints of the small amount of crotch, which is still preserved in this log. Oh yeah, okay, there's all of my, yep, I'm all wet now. Trying to get too crazy with the water. Now my feet are wet. This is beautiful. We have some rot staining down here and towards the top there, and a nice amount of crotch figure, and we got quarter sawn grain on the outsides as well. So a lot of things going on here. And it looks like a little bit of blue stain from those nails, you know, further up in here. So this is a good one. Oh wow, this has got some figure in it too. It's very subtle, but there's a little bit of figure along the two outside areas of here of the log. A beautiful band of crotch figure with a bark inclusion in the middle, and like the deep heartwood's getting even more red. It's kind of interesting. You have like the sapwood, you have like some heartwood, and like the really old heartwood, which is a different shade almost. Or it is. It's a lot redder. Oh wow, that's a lot of blue stain. A lot of blue stain. That is some really, it's so deep blue. Look at that. That is some of the bluest blue stain I've ever seen. How cool is that? This is a cool piece of wood. I kind of like blue stain. I'm kind of liking blue stain more and more. Oh, gorgeous. Got a lot of crotch figure in here. A lot. This is almost 4 feet long. All crotch figure. Incredible. That's cool. Wow. That is crazy. Like wild crazy. Wow. That's some wild grain. That blue is so deep. It's gorgeous. There's our two little nails. And one right here too. That's cool. I'm liking the blue stain. Oh, another crazy grain one. Ha! A little wet. Man, this is incredible. I think there's a lot of fun mixture of like figure and stuff in this log. Because now we're into some like light kind of crotch figure, but just really wavy, crazy grain and stuff. Gorgeous stuff. I caught it in the bucket. Oh! Yeah, this must have been an old limb or something here. or something. Yeah, a little stain from these two little nails here, and some normal swirly white oak. This is a cool little log though. This is just a cool piece of a log. Whoop, whoop. Nothing super crazy with this. This is some pretty standard, you know, plain sawn cherry. Still pretty big though. That's like what, 18 inches wide probably still? Nice piece of cherry for sure. Nothing crazy here either. Just 12-inch wide cherry. Getting into the sapwood now. How do I get this thing up here without dying? There. There's a little off-cut piece thing. So this is what it would have been like if there was no nails in this thing. Although this is mostly sapwood though. Yeah, it's got a fun little section of green through here. Kind of get into this thing here. Yeah, not bad. It's wood. So this was a fantastic day. I had a lot of fun out here. Not a bad way to kind of kick off the official my own sawing logs thing here on the property by cutting some of my favorite figure. We got some nice crotch stuff going on today. After cutting this small section of the Iowa tree, I am very, very excited to see the rest of that tree all sawn up and just see what's inside of there. I'm just happy. It's been a good day doing something I love. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the sawmill or anything back in the shop or whatever, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.